world is exploding. Everything is changing the whole time. AI is skyrocketing. Cloud is accelerating and data is exploding like an unstoppable avalanche. It never seems to end. Guys, it can seem hell of a overwhelming, but it's okay. If you work for an ordinary business where you're looking at what's going on in society and you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't even know where to start. I haven't even managed to get through with my cloud migration. I'm struggling to get people just to use Outlook 365 or Gmail, let alone get everything into the cloud. But fear not, guys, because we are seeing the rise of the Rebel Technologist. Isn't that exciting? Those are the daring visionaries that are deeply passionate about driving this incredibly positive change into your organization. Guys, if you work with these Rebel Technologists, they will challenge, they will navigate this never ever-ending digital landscape, and they'll enable you to scale globally. Guys, most important part about when I say scale globally, I don't mean it's going to be crazy unaffordable. Everyone always thinks this is a game just for the Googles of the world or banks or airlines. Well, I don't think it's really that much for airlines, but I'll take that back. But it applies to you, whether you're a one-person business or not. Maybe you're 10,000 people. That sounds even more difficult than one person, doesn't it, these days? Because with one person, you have AI, you say. Guys, I can empathize with you. You're probably sitting there right now thinking to yourself, I can't even get a project over the line at the moment. There are so many complexities to getting various parts of the business aligned, trying to, I don't know, make these tough decisions that require a whole steerco of people that take 2 weeks to organize. You know who I'm talking about, right? You are it. The worst part, there seems to be so much new technology going on. I always talk about in the last month we've seen over 200 new AI technologies launched. In the last week we've seen 1,000 new AI technologies. It's becoming a complete and utter disaster to be able to prioritize. And sometimes you just get that overwhelming urge to go, fuck it, I'm out, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. The stress that keeps you up at night. You might be feeling the other way where you go, fuck it, I'm going to start over. I dare you. I dare you to start over. Trying to keep all these systems that have been around for 20 years up and running is just too much. Sometimes you do need to start over. So guys, this is all about the rise of the Rebel Technologist. Please subscribe to my podcast, to the YouTube podcast. Would love to have you guys here more often. Would love to be sitting in your ears, nibbling away at what on earth is going on in society and business right now. So, first step, where on earth does this Rebel Technologist come from? I mean, can you imagine what this person looks like? The other day I actually tried to use Midjourney, and I tried to say to it, listen, give me a bunch of Rebel Technologists, one guy, one lady, and they're all kind of muscly. And the lady was very muscly, the guy was very fat. And I was trying to imagine what this Rebel Technologist would look like. Are you imagining what they look like? Do they have capes? Are they wearing a superhero outfit? There's so much to do. And often when I talk about this Rebel Technologist, people feel so overwhelmed that they just don't know where to start. The Rebel Technologist knows where to start. They know that they are sitting on this gold mine. And what do I mean by gold mine? Imagine if you had to start whatever organization you work in at this very moment, if you had to restart it would you start it as a digital organization? I bet you would. You'd go, stuff it. I'm going to let all the old legacy systems go to rot. I'm going to rebuild it. I'm going to be that fast, nimble startup. But there are challenges. And so why are you sitting on a gold mine at the moment? Well, the Rebel Technologist understands why, because you're also sitting in an organization that has been around for decades, that understands the value that it is offering. It is incredibly important to understand that value. There's also a lot of dead wood, dead systems that are being managed, and there's probably a lot of unvalue, if that makes sense. The Rebel Technologist knows exactly where to start. I know you're thinking, but Brett, we sit down, takes us 3 months to do our quarterly strategy, or strategy in that quarter, and teams get together, everyone throws ideas into a pot. We take all the work that was not done last year, we put it into the pot. We look at how much budget we have, whatever's left, and there is hardly any left. We squeeze some more work in there, and we write up documents, and we write up business cases, and we sit down in committees, and we're all look at each other, each person trying to get their objective over the line. Why? Because there just seem to be too many managers and not enough workers. Doesn't matter. We will get this over the line. 9 months pass. Everything's been signed off. You have the budget. You're ready to go. You have 3 months left in this year. And what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to lean on someone to get this delivered in 6 weeks. And I know we planned a year to do it, but I've only got 6 weeks left because I've still got to do my UAT and get it into production and line a whole lot of other teams. And I was told yesterday that if I don't get it in 6 weeks, it can be laughed off to next year. You know who I'm talking about again, right? Yep, been there, right? We are all there, and it's incredibly frustrating. But there's a reality. The way you need to figure this out is to start with a Rebel Technologist. Someone who will look at what should have been done, wasn't done, and doesn't need to be done. The dead wood. We'll also look at one key aspect, because guess what? Innovating new ideas and products does not necessarily come out of a boardroom where a bunch of executives sit in various styles of suit, trying to impress each other to be able to solve customer-centric problems. Customer-centric, did I just say that word? Are you kidding me? Innovation comes from building a massive listening engine. Rebel Technologists know this. What do I mean by a massive listening technology? Well, first step, look at all the systems that you have. Are you able to pull out reports and analytics that tell you what your customer's doing in those systems? Do you hear that sound? It was the sound of crickets. And if that's the case, it's going to give you a massive tick on whether you start to redo everything from scratch or you try and navigate your way through the air with absolutely zero navigation systems. So guys, innovation does not come out of the boardroom. Innovation does not come out of steercos. Innovation comes from listening to your customer and testing all the various ways that you can better their lives in a simple and a consistent manner. But the Rebel Technologist knows this. Now, the way to do this is not just go through the same old process. It's all about empowering your own people, the people building, the people on the ground that are putting in the new technologies. How often have you seen it where those same people are having to make a decision and they're having to go through layers of management, 10 layers up until that decision's been made, because it's quite a crucial decision, that. And so we're not going to make it. What a Rebel Technologist understands is that by empowering innovation, you need to empower teams. This is the moment in time where the teams that are building are the teams that make decisions. Are you willing to empower them? Because that's the kind of leadership that we're expecting from Rebel Technologists. It starts there. 2 key points. First of all, know your customer. I sound like a banker. Listen to your customer. Second one, empower your teams. Allow them to make decisions and move incredibly quickly, because that's the secret to the success. Know where you're moving to and move incredibly quickly, because the technology is moving faster than we could ever dream of. So guys, you know what you want to do. Come on, just do it. Subscribe, of course. Subscribe. Click subscribe. If you're on the podcast, go and subscribe to the podcast. If you're on YouTube podcast, please subscribe. There's so much that we have to get on top of. There is at least 2,378 billion trillion and 496,002 episodes. No, I'm just kidding. But we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun getting into it. I've just given you 2 key points on where you're going to start. Maybe I've kind of jumped the gun a bit. You know the first place. Find a Rebel Technologist. But we're going to help you with that in the coming series. We've got a whole lot coming up, and I want you to get incredibly excited about it, because in trying to find a Rebel Technologist, it's difficult because they are not born. They are hiding within the jungles of your organization. You are going to need to find them. You are going to need to develop them. After all, guys, the Rebel Technologists are not born with a circuit board and a cape. They are lovingly crafted through a secret recipe of empowerment, encouragement, and just the right dose of, you got it, political air cover, to help them soar above the skies of change like a techno-powered superhero.